As I was putting stockings on for my girlfriend, we promised we'd get into Peking University together. But I had to intentionally get a 0 on the Chinese language section of the college entrance exam. In the end, I only scored 600, so I missed my chance to get into Peking University. But she went straight to study abroad. The truth is, she didn't know. I ended up not even going to college and was forced to drop out to become a delivery driver. That evening, I was dragging my exhausted body home. While I was on my way to make my last delivery, I was suddenly hit by a Range Rover and knocked to the ground. Right after, a woman in a pair of red high heels came over and knelt down beside me. "Are you okay?" I didn't mean to. As she said this, the woman opened her Gucci handbag. She took out a wad of cash, probably about 2 or 3,000 yuan. "Take this for now. Go to a nearby hospital and get yourself checked out. I have something really urgent to take care of right now." After she said that, she shoved the money into my hand. She got up to leave, but then she immediately knelt back down. She took a pen out of her bag and casually wrote on a sticky note. Jotted down a phone number, then took out her ID card. She pushed the note and the ID card into my hand, saying, "If anything comes up, you can call me anytime." My name is Li Xia. By the time I looked down at her ID card, she had already gotten up and left. The whole encounter probably didn't even last a minute. We barely even spoke to each other. The white Range Rover drove off into the distance. I struggled to my feet. After that, I pushed my electric scooter all the way home by myself. I held the ID card of the woman who drove the Range Rover. By now, it was the middle of the night. After a moment's hesitation, I picked up my phone and called the number. The first time I called, no one answered. A minute later, I tried calling a second time. This time, the call was immediately rejected. I wasn't ready to give up, so I tried calling a third time. This time, it finally connected. On the other end of the line, I heard her very impatient voice. "Who is this? What is it? Spit it out." I replied politely. "You're the one who hit me with your car earlier." "Oh, I'm sorry." Her tone changed completely. She apologized over and over again. "That was my fault earlier. I'm so sorry. Which hospital are you at? Have you been examined? What did the doctor say?" Her tone of voice made me feel a lot better. I replied calmly, "I'm okay. But the frame of my electric scooter is a bit cracked. As long as you're not hurt, that's what matters." "How much was the scooter?" "I'll pay for it. The money you gave me is already enough to fix it. I still have your ID card. When would be a good time for you to come get it?" "Is now okay?" she asked, her voice a little hesitant. "I'm tied up with something. Is it okay if I have a friend come pick it up?" So I gave her my address. After hanging up, I sat on a wooden stool, applying some Yunnan Baiyao to my injuries. About half an hour went by. Then, I heard a knock on the door. When I opened it, I saw 4 men standing outside. The 3 men in the back were huge. The one in the front looked at me and asked, "Are you the one who made the call?" "And you are." Before I even had a chance to speak, the man asked with great impatience, "Is Li Xia's identity card with you?" Behind me, before the words could even leave my mouth, the man landed a punch right on my face. Then he raised his leg and kicked me hard in the stomach. I didn't even understand what was happening. As I was knocked down to the floor, I tried to crawl back up. The man's foot came flying at my face. Suddenly, I tasted the metallic tang of blood in my mouth. My neighbor, Lu Chang, who I usually drink and laugh with, opened his bedroom door. He took one look and quickly slammed it shut. The man walked over to me. He ground his leather shoe onto my arm and asked coldly, "Where's the identity card?" I desperately wanted to say something, but half of my face was numb and I couldn't get a single word out. The man turned to the 3 people behind him and said, "Go in and find it." That identity card and the note were sitting right there on the bedroom desk. The men went in and found them quickly, then brought them out and handed them to the man. The man glanced at the identity card and tucked it into his pocket, looking very satisfied. The foot pressing down on my arm pushed even harder. Then he said coldly, "Open your damn eyes. You actually tried to scam her? Let me make one thing clear right now. If you ever dare to pester that woman again, I will definitely kill you." After saying that, he gave me another vicious kick and turned to leave. Before he even reached the door, he seemed to remember something. He turned back, walked into my bedroom, and grabbed my phone. He smashed it violently onto the ground right in front of me, making sure it was completely destroyed. Only then did they strut away. After they left, I sat alone on the edge of the bed, a 7 yuan Hongtashan cigarette smoldering in my fingers. I couldn't understand why this world is always so full of injustice. And I couldn't understand why everyone has a face that's so good at faking it. Why would she leave an identity card behind, only to send people to beat me up? I have to ask her clearly, what exactly is she trying to do? When the sun rises tomorrow, this city will have one more drifting soul like me. The first light of dawn slanted through the window and into the room. I had already packed all my belongings into my suitcase. Today, I'm moving out of this rented room because of that group from last night. The landlord thought I was hanging around with a bad crowd, so they refused to rent to me anymore. I put my suitcase on my old electric scooter. All I had left was what that woman threw at me in the rain yesterday, 2,600 yuan. When I got paid last month, I sent all my money home for my father's medical bills, leaving only a tiny bit for basic needs. From those 2,600 yuan, I spent 800 on a smartphone to deliver food. I have to keep working. The remaining 1,000 or so will go toward renting a new place. If I don't find a suitable room before dark, I'll have to sleep under a bridge. I put the SIM card into the new phone. As soon as I turned it on, I got a call from my second uncle. Chen Fan, what are you doing? My second uncle, Chen Xiaoji, is quite the character. My grandfather found him on the street and brought him home. He's 6 years older than me. Over the years, he's done plenty of shady things. To put it simply, he's notorious. I squatted on the curb by the side of the road and asked, I'm free right now. What made you think of calling me all of a sudden? I've got business. I'm in Kunming to help your dad buy some medicine. I heard there's an old Chinese doctor here who has a special way of treating kidney disease. Once I tracked down his contact information, I rushed right over. I'll crash at your place for the night, and then I'll head back by train tomorrow morning. When I heard what my uncle said, I immediately got nervous. If my uncle found out that I'm doing so poorly I don't even have a place to stay, what would he think? If he goes back and tells my parents, those two would be worried sick. Plus, my face is all bruised up right now. With my uncle's personality, he'll definitely grill me until he gets to the bottom of it. This is a huge mess. I stammered and said, Uncle, please don't come looking for me. Just head back early after you get the medicine. I'm incredibly busy with work. But he insisted, your mom even sent a basket of farm fresh eggs for you. I have to get them to you no matter what. Let's leave it at that for now. I'll call you when I arrive. With that, my uncle just hung up the phone. Trying to just find an apartment and pay rent to move in, that wasn't very realistic. But my uncle was going to be here in just 2 hours. This was a major problem. After a moment of hesitation, I decided to go find a small inn near the train station first and get my uncle settled there. I had to get the idea of him staying at my place out of his head. As long as I got him settled, it didn't matter where I stayed. I could just make do somehow. 2 hours later, I picked up my uncle at the train station. He looked just like before, wearing a knockoff Nike t-shirt. His muscles were bulging, and he had a new tattoo on his arm. The second he saw me, he froze and asked with concern, Chen Fan, what's wrong? Did you get into a fight with someone? I lied and said, I just took a nasty fall by accident. My uncle didn't believe me for a second. Do you think you can fool your uncle as easily as your parents? Who could possibly fall and end up looking like this? What happened? Are you too scared to even say you got beaten up? I knew my uncle had been through many battles. It was going to be hard to trick him, but I didn't want to tell him about all this either. I brushed him off and said, let's go. I'll take you to where you're staying first. This afternoon, I'll go with you to get the herbal medicine. My uncle didn't say a word and just walked along beside me. Inside the small inn I'd booked in advance, I said to my uncle, you'll stay here tonight. After we get the medicine this afternoon, I've got to go to work. And don't tell my parents about me getting beaten up. I don't want them to worry. But he wouldn't let it go and asked, what exactly happened? Who beat you up like this, Chen Fan? Are you hiding something from the family? Tell me who hit you first. Why did they hit you? I muttered a curse under my breath, feeling frustrated. I don't even know why they hit me. So, I told him everything that happened last night. In the end, I didn't forget to remind him, whatever you do, don't tell my parents about this. So they don't get worried again. I've still got a few $100 here. When you go back, take this to my dad for me. Chen Xiaoji looked down, and after a few moments of silence, he said to me, all right, I won't tell your parents about this. As he spoke, my uncle took out another 2,000 yuan and gave it to me. Don't give your money to your parents. I'll give you another 2,000. Go find a nicer apartment complex. Rent a place and treat yourself a little better. Uncle, don't give me any money. I don't want it, my uncle said in a commanding tone. If I'm giving it to you, just take it. No more nonsense. This afternoon, I'm going to get your dad's Chinese medicine. You go look for an apartment. Get your living situation sorted out first. We'll have dinner together tonight. I'm catching the train back first thing in the morning. I took a deep breath. I could feel that my uncle was genuinely concerned about me, and I didn't want to make him worry too much. So I agreed to his suggestion. I would go look for a place that afternoon. While my uncle went to get the medicine, my dad's had kidney disease for several years now. Over the years, treating his illness has drained all of our family's savings. Even though Grandpa left tens of thousands of yuan before he died, my uncle didn't take a single cent of it. It all went towards my dad's medical treatments. Even though my uncle seems to just fool around all day, His character is impeccable. That afternoon, I found a listing at a rental agency. It was a shared 3-bedroom apartment in a complex, with a monthly rent of $700. The living room, bathroom, and kitchen were communal. One of the other rooms was rented by a couple, and the other by a girl. After looking at the apartment, I thought it was decent enough, so I took it. By the time I finished the paperwork, it was already past 4 p.m. My uncle texted to tell me. He was waiting for me at a small inn by the train station so we could have dinner. He had to catch an early train home the next morning. As I was heading out, I ran into the single girl who was my housemate. She had just gotten home from work. She was in business attire, and the short blazer gave her a particularly classy look. As she bent down to change her shoes, I caught a glimpse of her cleavage through the collar of her shirt. I swear I didn't mean to, but I have to admit, it was very captivating. It was the kind of sight you couldn't tear your eyes away from. As a result, when she stood up after changing her shoes, I was still stupidly staring at her chest. She shot me a nasty glare, and muttered with utter disgust, "Pervert." After saying that, she clutched her collar and walked to her room. That night, after dinner with my uncle, I couldn't be bothered to go back to the Paris Spring complex, so I just got another room at the inn. After seeing my uncle off the next morning, I went back to delivering food. If I don't work, I don't get paid, and right now, delivering food was the only job I could do. I worked straight through until 11:30 p.m. The last order of the night caught me by surprise. It was an order from my housemate, a girl named Lin Yifei. I brought the delivery home. The couple in the master bedroom wasn't there. Their door was shut and the lights were off. The light in her room was on, though, and I could hear the occasional sound of a keyboard clicking. I took off my jacket, tossed it into my room, and walked up to her door with the food, knocking gently. She opened the door wearing loungewear. The moment she saw it was me, her face instantly clouded over with displeasure. She instinctively covered her collar with her left hand and asked in a disgusted tone, "What do you want?" I said, lifting the delivery bag. "It's your delivery." Lin Yifei was furious. She demanded, "Who said you could touch my delivery?" Before I could say another word, she snatched the delivery bag from my hand. And then, she actually threw it right into the trash can next to the door. There was a bowl of soup in the bag, and when she grabbed it, the soup spilled all over my jeans. It was scalding hot, but she completely ignored me, took a step back, and slammed the door in my face. I stood there at the door, not knowing what to do, and just shook my head helplessly. When I got back to my room, I received a notification about the order. A bad review. The reason given was, "Why would you hand my delivery to someone else? Are you always this irresponsible?" I stared at the screen, thinking how absurd this was. One bad review costs me 300 yuan. I work from dawn till dusk, and sometimes I don't even make 300 a day. Today I worked my butt off. And now, this one bad review has wiped out all my hard work. On Wednesday at noon, I suddenly got a call from my uncle. I figured he was calling to tell me about things back home. I pulled my electric scooter over and asked, "Uncle, what's up? I'm in the middle of a delivery right now. Can you call me back later? I'm waiting for you at the intersection of Lianghua Road and Renmin Road. Finish up this delivery and don't take any new orders. Just come here first." I thought I must have heard him wrong. "Where are you?" "The little garden. The place you told me you got into that accident. Come over and show me. Where exactly did that Land Rover hit you?" I had a bad feeling that my uncle was planning something. "Didn't you go back home? What are you doing back in Kunming? I'm here to get some payback for you. You don't have to come if you don't want to. It'll just take me a little longer to pull the footage from the security cameras, that's all." I was completely speechless. I know my uncle Chen Xiaoji all too well. After I finished the delivery I was on, I rushed over there, and sure enough, at the intersection by the little garden, I saw my uncle. The guy was squatting by the side of the road, staring at the security cameras at the intersection. I had no idea what was going through his mind. When my uncle saw me, he asked, "So, where did you get hit?" I corrected him, saying, "I wasn't the one who got hit. The Land Rover was turning, and I hit it." He cursed, "Doesn't everyone know turning cars have to yield to traffic going straight? Just tell me which direction it was." I pointed across the street and said to him, "Right over there." "Uncle, can we just let this go? We don't know anyone here in Kunming. It's better to not stir up trouble." But he just said, "I've got it now. Once I get the Land Rover's license plate number, I'll be able to find the person who hurt you. You go on and get back to work." With that, Chen Xiaoji lowered his head and started to walk away. I stood there and called out, "Uncle, I'm staying at Paris Spring. Do you want to come over tonight?" Without looking back, Chen Xiaoji tossed 2 words over his shoulder. "Don't worry about me." I watched his back disappear into the crowd, and a sense of dread started to creep over me. That group of guys are obviously bad news. They drive a Range Rover. The bag in their hands is a Gucci worth over 10,000, and Chen Xiaoji is a stranger here in Kunming. Rushing in to investigate like that. What is he doing if not asking for trouble? But I knew I couldn't talk him out of it. Besides worrying myself sick, I didn't know what else to do. 3 nights later, Chen Xiaoji called me again, telling me to get there within half an hour. To get to the car cube at Century City, he said he'd be waiting for me in the open-air parking lot outside. When I got to the parking lot and found Chen Xiaoji, he was squatting in an inconspicuous corner by a flower bed. And diagonally across from him was that white Range Rover from the other night. The scratch on its side was still there. I was completely blown away by Chen Xiaoji's abilities. I was puzzled as to how he found it. A little worried, I tried to persuade my second uncle, saying, "Second uncle, let's just forget it. Don't let this get any bigger." He said, completely tonelessly, "No way. I have to get even tonight." I looked around. Even though it was already past 8 in the evening, the place was bustling with activity. This was no place to be getting even. "Have a smoke." Chen Xiaoji handed me a pack of cigarettes. It was a soft pack Zhonghua, of all things. Pointing to a black Santana on the side, he said, "Get in the car and sit. We just have to wait for them to show up." "Whose car is this?" "Don't worry about it, just get in with me." As soon as I got in the car, I started getting nervous. This Santana, at least 10 years old, was completely run down. To the right of the driver's seat, there was a steel pipe wrapped in bandages propped up there. This was clearly the tool for tonight's job. I couldn't calm down at all, even though I hated them for bullying me. When it came to actually hitting someone, I was a little nervous and scared. I tried to persuade my second uncle not to stir up trouble, but he completely ignored me. I was basically talking to myself. At about 9:15, the main characters appeared, the man who hit me that night, and Li Xia, who had a close encounter with my car, both showed up. The two of them walked side by side to the Range Rover. The man walked to the driver's side and opened the door. Chen Xiaoji asked coldly, "Is it those two?" "Second uncle, let's just forget it." Chen Xiaoji seemed a little impatient. "Cut the crap, just tell me, is it them or not?" I took a deep breath and said in a low voice, "Yes." Chen Xiaoji didn't let out a breath. His eyes were fixed on the Range Rover. The Range Rover started up and slowly pulled out of the parking space. Chen Xiaoji started up the Santana as well. He followed right behind the Range Rover and drove out. The whole way, I was exceptionally nervous. I knew all too well what Chen Xiaoji was capable of. The Range Rover was driving ahead. After a few turns, it got off the second ring road and turned onto a relatively secluded side road. Chen Xiaoji saw his chance. After overtaking the Range Rover, he quickly yanked the wheel, cutting the Range Rover off. Then he immediately slammed on the brakes. The car came to a stop diagonally, blocking the white Range Rover. I have to admit, the braking system on the Range Rover was excellent. If it were any other car, it probably would have crashed into us. After stopping, Chen Xiaoji wasn't in a hurry to get out. The driver of the Range Rover, the same man who hit me that day, had already gotten out and was walking furiously toward the Santana's driver's side door. He propped his foot on the car door and started yelling, "How are you driving? Do you even know how to drive?" Chen Xiaoji grabbed a steel pipe he had prepared beforehand with his right hand and unlocked the Santana's door with his left. He forcefully shoved the door open, hitting the man who was standing right outside. The man staggered back several steps. Chen Xiaoji got out of the car, holding the steel pipe. Without wasting a single word, he swung the steel pipe at the man's head. The man instinctively raised his left arm to block it, but Chen Xiaoji had already kicked him. The man stumbled back 2 steps and tripped on the curb. Completely intimidated by Chen Xiaoji's presence, he fell to the ground and looked up at him. His face was pale and he didn't dare say a word, all of his earlier arrogance completely gone. Li Xia got out of the passenger seat and rushed over to the man's side. She knelt down and asked with concern, "Jiahao, are you okay? Are you hurt?" After asking these 2 questions, she looked up at my second uncle and asked, "Why did you hit him?" But my second uncle turned to me and said, "Chen Fan, come here. How do you want to deal with him?" I nervously walked over to my second uncle and said in a small voice, "Second uncle, let it go. You've already hit him. Let's just go." "Who are you people?" Li Xia didn't recognize me. Thinking about it, it wasn't that strange. She left in such a hurry that day, and I was still in my delivery uniform. Riding an electric scooter and wearing a helmet, it's perfectly normal that she wouldn't remember me. But right now, she was looking at me and Chen Xiaoji seriously. She asked in a terrified voice, "What are you trying to do?" Chen Xiaoji ignored Li Xia. He slowly knelt down, holding the steel pipe in his right hand. The bottom end of the pipe was pressed against the man's thigh. I could see he was applying pressure. The man's face started to contort in pain, but he was tough. He held back from crying out. Seeing his twisted face, Chen Xiaoji couldn't help but look pleased and said to the man, "You beat up Chen Fan and smashed his phone. Let's put a price on that. Transfer 5,000 yuan right now. Transfer the money, and we'll call it even." Chen Xiaoji sneered, "If you don't, you're not leaving here in one piece today." I'll pay. Li Xia probably knew what this guy was usually like. Plus, my second uncle's ferocity had terrified her. She opened her shoulder bag and pleaded, "Please, don't hurt him. I'll give you the money," she said, taking cash out of her bag. She didn't even count it, just shoved it at my second uncle. I had no idea how much money it was. "I've given you everything." Chen Xiaoji glanced at it and said, "This should be enough. We'll let it slide for now. Don't think you can bully people just because you have money. You two better remember this. If you've got a problem with it, come find me again. My phone number is easy to remember. It's 135-6677 *****. Call me anytime if you're not satisfied." After saying this, Chen Xiaoji put away the steel pipe he was holding. He said to me, "Chen Fan, let's go. If he ever dares to bully you again, I'll cripple him." I was a little dazed. This is just Chen Xiaoji's way of doing things. As we were leaving, I couldn't help but glance at Li Xia a couple more times. She's truly beautiful. Her features were so exquisite that words couldn't do them justice. As I was looking at her, she was looking at me too. The moment we made eye contact, I felt incredibly self-conscious. I quickly averted my gaze, turned around, and got in the car. Chen Xiaoji could see I was worried and asked me in a tone of exasperation, "Are you getting scared? Chickening out? Everyone's the same, just a head on two shoulders. What's there to be afraid of? If you're a man, you fight them." To be honest, I was getting annoyed. I've been trying to make a living in Kunming for years. I've always just been a small town guy trying to get by, never wanting to argue with anyone. And I definitely don't want to get into fights. My motto has always been, the less trouble, the better. I just want to work hard, earn money to send home, and hopefully save enough for my father's kidney transplant. Seeing that I wasn't saying anything, Chen Xiaoji tried to comfort me. "Come on, don't look so miserable. It's not a big deal. If he dares to cause you any more trouble, I'll go deal with him again. I'll keep at it until he learns his lesson. You can get out at the next intersection. Take this money, spend it wisely. I'll be in Kunming for a while. Call me if anything comes up." He didn't even care if I wanted the money or not, he just tossed it all to me. I knew my dad's medical bills were expensive, so I didn't try to refuse. It was about 6,000 yuan. I took it all and asked, "Aren't you going back home? What are you doing in Kunming? Don't you worry about it. It's not food delivery, that's for sure. Just remember, if he dares to mess with you again, you go after him." My uncles and my philosophies on life have always been worlds apart. After getting out at the intersection, I wandered alone through the city's midnight streets. With a few thousand yuan in my pocket, I felt like the money had come too easily. So easily that it made me uneasy. I even thought about contacting Li Xia. I wanted to return the money to her and explain that it was all just a misunderstanding. I admit, part of the reason I had this thought is because I'm just a poor, ordinary guy. I can't afford that kind of trouble. But there was another reason, too. I was fantasizing about getting to know Li Xia, or at least making sure she didn't have a bad impression of me. Then I snapped out of it, realizing how ridiculous that thought was. How could I possibly hope for the attention of a goddess? Fantasizing about getting to know someone as beautiful as Li Xia, I couldn't help but laugh at my own foolishness. The next day, I allowed myself the luxury of sleeping in. Then I opened the app and tapped to start taking orders. The very first one was a huge order, a full 40 boxed lunches. The delivery was to the Katy International Hotel. The security guard let me use the service elevator. I had to take them directly to the conference room on the 29th floor. For my first trip, I only carried 20 of the boxes up. Inside the conference room, only the girl who placed the order was there. She told me I could just leave the boxes on the table. So I went back downstairs to get the rest. When I came back up and carried the remaining boxes into the conference room, I was stunned by what I saw. Li Xia was standing there among a group of people. The moment our eyes met, I couldn't believe my eyes, but there she was, Li Xia, right in that conference room, looking at me. A man opened one of the lunchboxes, handed it to her, and said respectfully, "Manager Li, you must be tired after your meeting. Please eat." My scalp tingled with fear. Just yesterday, Chen Xiaoji and I beat up her boyfriend, and now I was delivering food right on her turf. Wasn't this just walking right into a trap? I hastily put down the food and headed for the door. I practically held my breath until I got to the elevator. The moment the doors opened, I was stunned. Trying to act calm, I lowered my head and started to walk out, but two security guards immediately blocked me. They told me to come with them. I pretended to have no idea what was going on. I said to the guards, "You've got the wrong person. Cut the crap. Take him away first." I yelled, "On what grounds? You're just security guards. You have no right to take away my freedom." My shouting, as expected, made a lot of people in the hotel lobby look over. The hotel's lobby manager was quick-witted, though, and explained to the onlookers with a smile on his face. "Excuse me, everyone, sorry for the disturbance. A hotel guest just reported some missing valuables, and we suspect this delivery guy took the opportunity to steal them. We have the suspect in custody and will be taking him to the police station shortly. We're terribly sorry. Is this delivery person a thief? The quality of these delivery people is so poor nowadays. Who would dare to order delivery after this? I strained my voice, my face contorted as I struggled, and yelled that I was being framed. In the end, no one believed my words, much less paid any attention to my shouting. All I saw were cold faces, holding up their phones to take pictures. The 4 security guards didn't take me to the police station like the lobby manager said they would. They just held me in a room and took my phone. They tied me to a chair, and I kept yelling, "Let me go." This is unlawful detention. It's illegal, the heavy-set guard threatened. I don't know anything about unlawful detention. I just do what my boss tells me to. If you dare yell and disturb me again, I'll shove these socks I haven't washed in a week into your mouth. He won. That threat was truly powerful, so powerful that I didn't dare to speak again. Because I felt he was fully capable of doing such a thing. I waited with a feeling of dread. I didn't know what was going to happen next, or who I was about to face. Before long, the 2 security guards actually lay down on the bed and fell asleep. I tried to escape, but my hands and feet were tied to the chair. All my efforts were completely in vain. Maybe 3 hours passed. The door, which had been closed, was suddenly opened. Hearing the sound of the door opening, the 2 guards quickly scrambled up from the bed. Li Xia appeared in the room with 5 other people. The girl following behind her was the one who had ordered the food today. Next to the girl was the lobby manager, and the other 2 were also security guards. Seeing Li Xia come in, the 2 guards who had been sleeping hastily stood up. They respectfully greeted her. "Hello, Manager Li." Li Xia frowned and asked, "Why is he tied up? But wasn't it you?" The lobby manager shot the heavy-set guard a look and immediately snapped. "Who told you to tie him up? Untie him, quickly." After I was untied, Li Xia said to the people around her, "All of you, get out. No one comes in without my permission." Seeing how firm Li Xia's tone was, none of them dared to say another word. They all scurried out of the room. Li Xia stared at me coldly and asked, "What's your problem with Jiahao? Why did you beat him up so badly yesterday?" "So his name is Jiahao. I finally know what that guy's name is. Do you really need to play dumb? You know exactly why you hit him, don't you?" Li Xia said, with a tone that said she'd seen right through people like me. "Is it fun for you guys, fighting all the time? Can't you just sit down and talk things out? Does that solve anything?" So, Li Xia thinks I'm some kind of punk. I looked at Li Xia and asked, "Are you going to let me explain?" "I don't have time," Li Xia said, not giving me an ounce of respect. "I kept you here just to tell you one thing. Stop cornering Jiahao in the middle of the night. If you want money, just come to me. Stop bothering him." That's when I got pissed off. I looked at Li Xia and asked, "You had your people tie me up here for 3 or 4 hours, and I missed my entire afternoon shift. Just to tell me this crap?" Li Xia shot back, "What else? What did you think I was going to say to you?" My temper flared up instantly. "Fine, since you have something to say to me, then I've got something to tell you, too. That first lunchbox I delivered, you're the one who ate it, right? Well, let me tell you something. I'd already eaten several bites of that meal. You were eating my leftovers. I even spit in it." Li Xia's eyes suddenly shot wide open. The next second, she clapped a hand over her mouth and ran for the bathroom. That felt so good. I swaggered out the door. Outside the room, the lobby manager and a few security guards were all there. The way they were looking at me was a little strange. I just walked off like a total badass. The more I thought about it, the better I felt. I walked out of the hotel lobby, and it was right around dinner time. I was about to start taking delivery orders again, but I found out my account had been suspended. I contacted customer service to ask what was going on. They said I might be connected to a theft. My rider status has been temporarily revoked. In other words, I've been fired. Who the hell did I piss off? Do you have any idea how hard I work as a delivery guy? I have no idea how I got tangled up with these people. I shot a hateful glare at the Grand Katy Hotel. I spat hard on the ground. Just then, a group of security guards suddenly rushed out of the hotel, yelling, "Get him! Don't let him get away! You've got to be kidding me! They're going to grab me just for spitting?" I bolted, but a guard at the door kicked my legs out from under me, sending me to the ground. The others rushed over and grabbed me again, but this time, they didn't take me back into the hotel. Instead, they shoved me into a Buick GL8 minivan. Then Li Xia got in, and sat in the left seat of the second row, while they put my tied-up hands and feet on the seat to the right. They were worried I'd struggle, so one of them wrapped a rope around my body twice. 2 guards sat in the third row, and there was another one up front. I suddenly started to feel nervous. I turned my head to look at Li Xia beside me and said, "What are you trying to do?" "All I did was take a couple bites of food. You're not going to kill me over this, are you?" "Shut up." Li Xia shot me a look of pure disgust. If you dare mention that lunch again, I can have them throw you out of the car right now, but you have to tell me. Where are you taking me? You've already made my life miserable enough. I've lost my job, Li Xia said with a cold expression. I couldn't care less whether you have a job or not, but if Jiahao gets hurt, I'll definitely drag you to court. Wait a minute, who on earth is Jiahao to you? What does he have to do with me? Li Jiahao is my little brother. I don't want him to get hurt. Your little brother, huh? Hearing Li Xia say that, I actually felt a small thrill of excitement. What does your brother getting hurt have to do with me? Your friend kidnapped my brother. Now I'm taking you to be exchanged for him. I looked at Li Xia and asked, how come I didn't know? That I have such a badass friend? What the hell? What on earth did second uncle do? I felt like my head was going to explode. Didn't we agree yesterday to just let this go? Why did he go after Li Jiahao again? You think just because he's rich, he's an easy target? I wasn't so sure second uncle was capable of something like this. I didn't dare ask anything else. The rest of the drive was relatively silent. We drove from the city all the way to the suburbs of the East Third Ring, finally stopping at a dilapidated warehouse. Next to 2 cars was a table, and on it were a few cans of food. And some braised dishes. A dozen or so empty beer bottles were tossed beside the table. Chen Xiaoji sat alone on one side of the square table. Li Jiahao and a few others sat on the other 3 sides. Those guys looked like they were in bad shape. Every single one of them was bruised and swollen, and Li Jiahao was no exception. Seeing this, Li Xia couldn't take it anymore. She jumped out of the car and ran toward Li Jiahao. Jiahao, how did you get beaten up this badly? Who did this? As she asked this, her gaze fell on second uncle. Second uncle completely ignored Li Xia. The fat security guard kicked me out of the car, and the other 2 guards hauled me up from the ground. They yelled, hurry up and let our young master go, or else we'll kill him. Second uncle was obviously surprised when he saw me. He frowned but didn't say anything. Second uncle put down his beer glass and stood up. What's going on? Li Xia asked, looking at Chen Xiaoji. Did you beat my brother like this? Didn't we agree last night that this was settled? What exactly do you want? Sis, stop. Li Jiahao stood up, his head lowered, and said, this isn't their fault. It's on me. The 5 of us couldn't take him on. I had it coming. I could hardly believe this was real. The 4 guys Li Jiahao brought with him clearly had the physical advantage, but they were all taken down by Chen Xiaoji. And he had beaten them into submission. Heartbroken, Li Xia raised her hand to touch Li Jiahao's swollen face, asking cautiously, does it hurt? Li Jiahao first nodded, then shook his head and said, it's nothing. It's not the first time I've been in a fight, but he's the first person to ever beat me so thoroughly. This isn't their fault. Stop, stop, stop. Second uncle cut Li Jiahao off. Your sister's really something else. She actually managed to capture my guy. For today, let's call it even. You let my guy go, and I'll let you go. I'll waive the appearance fee for today's brawl, but don't let there be a next time. The fat security guard, trying to act tough in front of Li Xia, rolled up his sleeves and said, Ms. Li, they're being too arrogant. Let me go teach him a lesson. Li Xia shot the fat security guard a glare. Looking at Li Jiahao, she said, what on earth is your problem with him? Can we please sort this out once and for all today? Stop making trouble, will you? You're not a kid anymore. When are you going to grow up? When Dad passed away, he told me to take good care of you. Can't you at least try not to be a disappointment? I have to take care of you and run the company all by myself. Do you think that's easy for me? As she spoke, tears of grievance started to fall from Li Xia's eyes. When Li Jiahao saw Li Xia crying, he immediately panicked and pleaded, sis, I know I was wrong. Please don't cry, okay? This is all my fault. I got beaten up last night and I was furious, so today I called a few buddies to teach him a lesson. Didn't expect us to be so outmatched. 5 of us couldn't even beat him alone. I won't cause you any more trouble. Please just stop crying, okay? Hey, I shouted from the side. While you 2 are having your little reunion, could you maybe untie me first? I'm still tied up here. We're supposed to be having a prisoner exchange, but my second uncle didn't even tie up your brother. Can you guys show a little integrity? Let me go first. Li Xia glanced at the fat security guard, and the guard quickly untied me. She was very concerned for her brother and asked me, why did you fight him last night? Can you stop pretending? I yelled, you hit me with your car, then you sent him to my place to beat me up. He smashed my phone. Don't you dare tell me you didn't know about this. Hearing me say this, Li Xia was completely stunned. She stared at me for a full 3 seconds, then turned her head to look at Li Jiahao. Li Jiahao lowered his head and said, sis, let me explain. Li Jiahao didn't quite dare to look Li Xia in the eye and said in a small voice, that night, didn't you tell me you hit someone with your car? And asked me to go get your ID card? I just assumed you were the victim of a staged accident scam. And that the other guy had your ID and was trying to extort you. So I took a few buddies and went to his place. We snatched the ID card back. I was also worried that he had your phone number and would harass you or something, so on the way out, I smashed his phone. Then Li Jiahao's voice grew quieter and quieter. And then what happened last night happened. Li Xia was utterly shocked. She looked at Li Jiahao again. He had practically shrunk his head into his collar, looking terrified. Is it clear now? I asked, looking at Li Xia. You didn't have time for my explanation, so why don't you listen to your brothers? So is it clear now? You people hit me with a car, sent people to beat me up, and today your lobby manager slandered me as a thief. Now the food delivery platform has suspended my rider account. I've even lost my job. This is all you're doing. Did I ever do anything to you people? Why did you have to ruin me like this? I'm sorry. Li Xia's face turned beet red. Her tone softened as she apologized. I'll make it up to you. Thanks, but don't think you can do whatever you want just because you have some money. After saying that, I swaggered over to my uncle's side. I grabbed a bottle of beer, tilted my head back, and chugged it, then tossed the bottle aside. I said to my uncle, I didn't realize you were such a good fighter. My uncle said dismissively, it was nothing. Then he stood up and said to Li Xia, Miss, I can see you're a reasonable person. It's much more pleasant to deal with reasonable people. You were the ones who hit someone with your car. You were also the ones who came to his door, started a fight, and smashed his phone. And now you've caused my nephew to lose his job. It was all you. You need to offer some kind of solution. He can't just swallow such a huge grievance for nothing, right? Blushing, Li Xia asked, then what do you want? How much money do you want? My uncle thought for a moment and said, forget it, if you give him a sum of money, he'll just turn around and send it home for his dad's medical bills. Why don't you give him a job instead? Li Xia said, no way. No, the two of us said at almost the same time. Li Xia glanced at me and said in a low voice, our company doesn't hire people with bad character. What's wrong? Chen Xiaoji asked, very displeased. What's wrong with my nephew's character? He. Li Xia got a little flustered. With a red face, she said, he stole my food. And then gave me the leftovers. Ha ha ha, I couldn't help but burst out laughing. I said to my uncle, let's go. You don't have to worry about my job. If I can't deliver food, I can do something else. By the way, I said, looking at Li Xia and Li Jiahao, this is over, right? You won't cause me any more trouble, right? You won't lock me up again? My words made Li Xia's face turn bright red. Li Jiahao said loudly, don't worry, I know when I'm beaten. I genuinely admire you, brother Jia. If you need anything in the future, just say the word. My uncle ignored Li Jiahao. He said to me, let's go. It's settled, I'll drive you back. I got into that beat-up Santana. I asked curiously, did you really take down that whole group of them? Chen Xiaoji asked back, was that supposed to be hard? I was suddenly at a loss for words. My uncle is a total badass. After dropping me off in the city, my uncle asked what my plans were for the future. Are you going to keep delivering food? I said my rider account had been suspended. It's fine if I don't deliver food anymore. I can find another job to support myself. As he was leaving, he said the same thing he always does. Call me if you need anything. After I got out of the car, I was suddenly hit with a sense of aimlessness I'd never felt before. I used to work from dawn till dusk delivering food, hoping that one day my life wouldn't be so hectic. Now that that day was finally here, I had no idea what I should do next. I squatted on the curb by the back gate of the Dianchi Springs apartment complex, looking at this city, so lonely and cold. Just then, a stray dog slowly walked over and circled around me. Then it sat down beside me. Two souls who had never met. We were both enjoying the same loneliness. Coincidentally, Lin Yifei feeds this stray dog every day. Because of it, Lin Yifei and I finally buried the hatchet. After some small talk, we became much friendlier. The next day, I woke up at 7:30 and looked for my delivery uniform as usual. It was only after I found it that I realized my delivery driver account had been suspended. I wasn't qualified to take orders or make deliveries today. My scooter. I suddenly realized my scooter was still at the Candy International Hotel. Back when I was grabbed, my electric scooter was still there. But what about now? Quickly threw on some clothes and hailed a motorcycle taxi at the entrance of my residential complex. I went straight to the Candy International Hotel. Inside the guard booth, I saw the same fat security guard from yesterday. He was on duty. The moment I spotted him, he saw me too. He held up his rubber baton and asked, "What are you doing back here, kid? Are you looking for a beating? Get lost." I asked unhappily, "Where's my scooter?" "What scooter?" The fat guard threatened me, waving his rubber baton. "There's no scooter for you here." Scram. "My electric scooter. Where's my electric scooter? I parked it right here yesterday." "Who stole it? Let me see the security footage." The fat guard laughed. In a very condescending tone, he asked, "The security footage for our international hotel? You think you can just ask to see it? Do you think you own the place?" I really wanted to slap him. The fat guard looked especially smug. He continued to taunt me, "That piece of junk you call a scooter. If you reported it to the police, they wouldn't even bother to open a case. And here you are, treating it like some kind of treasure." Before he could even finish, the fat guy suddenly stood at attention and saluted, looking very professional. Did someone important arrive? I turned my head and saw Li Xia's white Range Rover pulling up. The car stopped right beside me. Sitting in her car, she looked at me and asked, "What are you doing here again?" I shot back, annoyed, "You think I want to come to this dump? I'm here to find my scooter. It was right here yesterday. And now it's gone." The fat security guard chimed in. "Miss Lee, don't pay any attention to him. All for that beat-up scooter of his. He even wanted to see our hotel security footage. He thinks way too highly of himself. Miss Lee, you go on with your business. I'll take care of this." Li Xia looked at the fat guard and asked, "And how will you do that?" "Where is his scooter?" The fat guard said with a malicious grin. "I heard from Xiao Zhang, who was on duty yesterday, that they personally saw that electric scooter being violently thrown onto a truck and taken away by the city inspectors." I was completely furious. "You saw my scooter being violently thrown onto a truck and taken away by the city inspectors. So why didn't you say anything? I was here delivering food for you people. Not only did I lose my job, but you can't even help me look for my scooter? Don't you people have any compassion?" The fat security guard grinned, his eyes wide. He looked like he was enjoying my misery and even said in a damn sing-song voice, "Why should I help you?" "All right then." Li Xia looked a little annoyed and said to the fat security guard, "Use your card to take him up the elevator to my office." After she said that, she drove off to the parking garage. "No way." The fat security guard was totally stunned. He said with a confused look on his face, "Did I just hear that right? Director Li told me to take you to her office." Li Xia's office was on the 29th floor. The words, "General Manager," were on her door. I would have never guessed. Li Xia was actually the general manager. To reach a position like that at her age, that's really impressive. Li Xia's office was the most luxurious one I had ever seen. Li Xia personally brewed me a cup of coffee. As she handed me the coffee, she asked, "How much does your e-bike cost?" I don't know why, but I suddenly felt the urge to mess with Li Xia a little. I looked at her with disdain and asked, "Do you think money is the answer to everything? Let me tell you, I've had that electric scooter for 3 years. Ever since the day I started making deliveries, that scooter has been by my side. We've been through thick and thin together, and then after just one delivery to your company, it's gone for good. How can you live with yourselves?" Li Xia held her cup of coffee and leaned against her desk. She looked at me and asked, "You make it sound so serious. As if you have some deep emotional attachment to that scooter. But no matter how deep it is, it's useless. I'm not going to help you get your e-bike back from the city authorities. Let's just cut to the chase. Are you just going to ask how much money you should pay me? Can't you talk about anything else?" Li Xia spoke to me with extreme arrogance, with someone like you, who has character issues. "I can only talk about money. Do I have character issues? Would a person of good character steal someone else's delivery?" I was speechless. I really didn't know what to say. Li Xia lifted her wrist to check her watch, and said to me, "Let's not waste any more time. I have a meeting to get to. Just name your price. I'll just pay you whatever it costs." I don't know what made me so stubborn, but I just wanted to challenge Li Xia, so I said loudly, "Don't want your money. I want my scooter back. Is 5,000 enough?" I didn't say a word. "How about 8,000? I still remained silent. "I'll give you 10,000. Li Xia said, her voice rising. "Surely that's enough now, right?" I looked at Li Xia and asked, "Do you think I came here to extort you? Do you really believe that I'm that horrible of a person?" "Enough. 20,000. Take it, or get the hell out of my office right now. And don't ever come back." I raised my finger and pointed it at Li Xia. Pointing at her as I backed away, I dropped one last, pretentious line. "You live such a pathetic life. The only thing you see is money. How could you possibly understand the pain of losing a partner? Talking to you about feelings is a complete waste of my emotions. Go on, hug your money. And live your life. Goodbye." After saying that, I turned and walked out. "Wait a minute." Li Xia, standing behind me, stopped me. She said threateningly, "Don't you regret this. I'll give you one more chance. 20,000 yuan in compensation. I don't need it." With that, I walked out. Li Xia said from behind me, "All right then, consider it a favor I owe you. If you need my help with anything, as long as it doesn't violate my principles, I will definitely repay you. Remember my phone number." After leaving the Kaidi International Hotel, I really wanted to slap myself hard. I took that act a little too far. 20,000 yuan, why didn't I just take it? I just had to act all high and mighty in front of that rich girl. And I certainly pulled off the act perfectly. But the price of that perfect performance was losing 20,000 yuan. How am I supposed to make myself feel better? I got Li Xia's phone number again. Oh well, I guess that's the only way to console myself. As I walked back, I casually scrolled through my moments. Unexpectedly, I saw that Lu Jun had posted an update. Turns out, today is his birthday. Lu Jun was my high school classmate. Back in high school, Lu Jun and I were really close. There weren't many boys in the liberal arts class to begin with. Since seats were assigned by grades, we both always sat in the front row. On every exam, Lu Jun's scores and mine were always at the top. First place in class was either me or Lu Jun. After high school graduation, Lu Jun got into Yunnan University with a score of 590, but I chose to give up. My family just couldn't afford to send me to college. Plus, my father's kidney disease required constant medical expenses. I also wanted to start working early to help support the family. 4 years ago, Lu Jun came to Kunming for college, and I came to Kunming to work. When we first got here, the two of us often hung out. Later, because our social circles were different, we didn't keep in touch as much as we used to at the beginning. But that feeling of friendship was still there. Seeing Lu Jun's post, I replied underneath it, "Still alive and kicking? I'm Chen Fan. Are you free tonight? Can you come to my birthday party? It's been almost half a year since we last saw each other, right?" I replied, "More than half a year. You're about to graduate, right?" He said he could leave campus now and was looking for an internship. I asked him if he had any good prospects. He replied, "I majored in business administration in college. I've already turned down a few good offers. I want to find a hotel to work in hotel management. Come over tonight if you're free. We can talk in person. It's on Dianchi Road. Remember to bring your girlfriend. Let your bro see if you're doing well." If I had been able to go to college 4 years ago, then today, I could also casually say to a friend, "I'm looking for a job in hotel management." Some people get to choose their own lives, while others are destined to be chosen. A girlfriend? Where am I supposed to find a girlfriend? Just then, I suddenly thought of Li Xia. Didn't she promise me one favor? Could I take Li Xia to the dinner tonight? And I could introduce Li Xia to Lu Jun while I'm at it. Doesn't Lu Jun want to work in hotel management? Li Xia is the general manager of the Kaidi International Hotel. Even if she couldn't get Lu Jun into the Kaidi International Hotel, she could at least make an introduction, hopefully providing Lu Jun with some resources. I quickly gave Li Xia a call. When Li Xia answered my call, she immediately asked, "What, are you regretting asking me for that 20,000 yuan? Can't you be normal for once?" I teased her. "In your eyes, the only reason I'd ever call is for money?" Haha, Li Xia laughed openly and asked, "Then what is it? Didn't you promise me something today? You'd agree to anything as long as it didn't go against your principles. Aren't those your words?" "Yeah, that's what I said. What do you want me to do? Accompany me to a friend's birthday party tonight. Just for a meal. That request doesn't go against your principles, does it? It's not asking too much, is it? Just a meal," Li Xia exclaimed over the phone. "You want me to have a meal with you? Do you think I have that much free time? If you don't come, I won't force you. At least it'll let me see what kind of person you, Li Xia, really are. Besides being obsessed with money, you also go back on your word. Whether you come or not is up to you." Li Xia was probably pissed off by what I said. She said resentfully, "Just you wait. I'll have this meal with you tonight. After we eat, you better never bother me again. Then we'll be even. You have to promise me that you won't embarrass me during the meal. Of course, I won't do anything inappropriate to you either. I'll just show up as a friend." Li Xia said briskly, "Okay, I get it. See you tonight." I was a little thrilled about having convinced Li Xia. I hadn't seen him in half a year, and today was Lu Jun's birthday. On my way out, I bought a red envelope at a small shop and stuffed 500 yuan into it. 500 yuan really wasn't a small amount for me, considering Lu Jun's friends were probably all university students. And university students these days are pretty big spenders. If my red envelope was too small, it might be embarrassing for Lu Jun. At 6:15, 1A, 5059, when I arrived at the restaurant entrance, Li Xia's white Range Rover was already parked there. Seeing me appear, she got out of the car and walked towards me. She was actually wearing a business suit. I stood at the entrance, looking Li Xia up and down. Li Xia glared at me and asked, "What are you looking at? You didn't tell me what to wear. Besides, I really didn't have time to change. After I got the address you sent, I rushed right over from the office." I smiled. I never realized a business suit could make you look so classy. That sentence earned me another big eye roll from Li Xia. I led Li Xia into the restaurant's private room. Pushing the door open, I saw Lu Jun sitting at the head of the table, chatting with a guy to his left. There were more than 10 people in the private room. When Lu Jun saw me, he quickly stood up. He greeted me, saying, "Chen Fan, you're finally here. We were waiting for you. Come, sit over here." After saying that, he gestured for the guy next to him to move over a seat. I walked over to the seat the guy had just been in, took out a cigarette, and offered one to the guy who gave me his seat. He glanced at my pack of cheap Hongtashan cigarettes and didn't bother taking one. He politely gestured toward the premium softpack Zhonghua on the table, telling me he already had his own. Lu Jun turned to the others and said, "Everyone, let me introduce you to Chen Fan. He's my best bud from our high school back home. He used to be a real top-tier student. He even scored over 600 on his college entrance exams." I gave Lu Jun a bitter smile and said, "Forget it, let's not bring up the past. Happy birthday." As I spoke, I handed him the red envelope. Lu Jun felt the thickness of the envelope with his fingers, then waved his hand and said to me, "Chen Fan, you're being way too polite. I didn't invite you here today for a red envelope or anything like that. I just thought, since we haven't seen each other in 6 months, we should all get together. Let's get the food served first. We can catch up over drinks. And is this lovely lady your girlfriend? How should I address her?" Li Xia didn't seem to mind him calling her his partner. She smiled and said, "My name is Li Xia." Lu Jun looked at Li Xia and said with pride, "I'm Lu Jun. I'm a business administration major from Yunnan University, and Chen Fan and I grew up together." When Lu Jun mentioned his university and major, his voice became notably louder. He sounded incredibly proud. Another guy piped up, "Let's eat, let's eat." The room started getting noisy again. Lu Jun pulled out one of his own cigarettes, handed it to me, and said, "Chen Fan, if you had just stuck with school back then, you wouldn't have ended up as a delivery guy." "A delivery driver?" The girl sitting next to Lu Jun asked with a tone of barely suppressed contempt. "Do you work for Tuan Tuan or Bao Lama? I always see stories online about delivery drivers stealing bites of the food. Is that actually true?" Before I could even get a word in, another guy cut me off. "Wang Wei, you're making too big a deal out of it. What's a little stolen food? Haven't you seen that video? Some guy in an elevator was using a customer's soup as mouthwash. And then he spat it back in. It's so disgusting. That industry is such a mess these days. Platforms really need to clean things up. It's all just people who can't find real jobs. Shady types just drifting through life. I mean, who would deliver food if they had a decent career?" My face felt hot with shame. I couldn't bring myself to look at any of those people. And I especially couldn't look at Li Xia. While everyone was gossiping away, a girl suddenly looked at Li Xia and asked, "Are you a delivery driver too?" Li Xia looked at her and said with a smile, "Yes, both Chen Mo and I are delivery drivers. We're colleagues." The girl replied with a look of pure envy. "Delivering food every day in the sun and wind must be so hard. How do you keep your skin looking so amazing while working a job like that? I'm so jealous of you." Li Xia just smiled. She didn't bother explaining anything, just letting these sheltered girls chatter on. Lu Jun felt the awkwardness and whispered to me comfortingly, "Chen Fan, don't take it to heart. They don't mean any harm. It's just mindless small talk." I gave Lu Jun a forced smile and said, "It's fine, I understand. I wasn't just humoring him. I truly did understand. After struggling to make it in Kunming all these years, I've dealt with all kinds of people. University students are the most reckless group of people. They haven't even stepped out into the real world yet. Few of them know how to read a room, and very few genuinely care about the feelings of those around them. Every one of them acts like they're God's gift to the world." After a few rounds of drinks, the conversation started to flow more freely. Lu Jun asked me, "How's your dad's illness now? Can he get a kidney transplant?" At the mention of this topic, my mood turned incredibly heavy. I picked up the glass in front of me and downed the entire thing. I said in a low voice, "There's not much hope. A kidney transplant costs hundreds of thousands, which my family simply can't afford. Besides, it's not like you can get one just because you have money. You also have to find a match. He's been on conservative treatment all these years, going to the hospital for dialysis every week. The whole ordeal has worn him down to skin and bones." Lu Jun let out a long sigh. He recalled the past, saying, "You scored over 600 on the college entrance exam back then. Why didn't you stick with university? I remember, the whole school even held a fundraiser for you. That money was for your education." I cut Lu Jun off, saying, "I used the money for my dad's medical treatment. Do you regret it? If you had gone to school back then, you would have much better options now." I shook my head, lit the cigarette Lu Jun handed me, and said forlornly, "Even if I had 100 chances to choose again, I'd still give the money to my dad for his treatment." "How can you be so short-sighted?" said the girl sitting on Lu Jun's other side. She spoke in a lecturing tone. "You should have used the money for your education. Like us, you should have first gotten into a prestigious university. And then gotten your diploma and bachelor's degree. That way, you'd have many more options when looking for a job. You wouldn't be like this now. Besides delivering food, what else can you do?" Li Xia, who hadn't said much until then, spoke up. "You should never judge people or things you don't understand. What you're saying might be right, but it isn't the correct answer in every situation." The other girl rolled her eyes dismissively. Lu Jun stopped her, saying, "Lu Rian, stop it. Chen Fan's father got sick many years ago. His mother stays home to take care of his very ill father. The whole family relies on him to support them now. Lu Rian muttered disdainfully, so short-sighted. What could I say? I could feel my hand trembling as I held my glass. Suddenly, I felt a very soft and warm hand rest on the back of mine. I turned my head and saw Li Xia looking at me. Her gaze was very gentle. Lu Rian shot us a contemptuous glance. Then she asked Lu Jun, "Did you submit those resumes I told you to send last week?" "I've already received an interview notice. What about you? Did you get one?" Lu Jun, feigning mystery, opened his phone and showed it to Lu Rian. He said, a little excitedly, "Look, the interview notification. It came this afternoon. The interview's tomorrow morning." "That's fantastic." Lu Rian was ecstatic. She hugged Lu Jun and gave him a kiss, saying full of anticipation, "I'm sure we'll both get hired by this hotel." A girl sitting opposite them asked, "What are you two so happy about?" Lu Rian spoke with a look of immense pride. "Lu Jun and I sent out our resumes together. And the hotel we wanted most just notified us to come in for an interview tomorrow. Congratulations. Come on, everyone, let's raise a glass and celebrate. Having a high level of education is so nice. You actually get to choose the industry you love. Lu Jun turned down so many great companies just for you, Rian. You'd better work hard." After dinner, the second half of the night was at a KTV. The KTV was about 2 kilometers away. As we were leaving the restaurant's private room, his college classmates walked on ahead, while Li Xia and I trailed at the very back. I whispered to Li Xia, "Dinner is over now. You did what you promised, so you don't have to worry about me anymore. Go ahead and head home. Thank you for keeping your word." Li Xia asked softly, "Aren't you going to join them for the second half?" I shook my head. "I'll just find an excuse to slip away. We don't really have anything in common to talk about." Li Xia pouted her little lips and said to me, "Where are you going? Let me give you a lift." By the time we reached the restaurant entrance, Lu Jun had already hailed 3 taxis. 4 people piled into the first taxi, and 2 got into the second. Another couple was getting ready to board, which left 5 people remaining. Me and Li Xia, along with Lu Jun and Lu Rian. Plus another guy the first didn't recognize. Lu Rian turned to Li Xia and said, "Let's all 5 of us squeeze in. We'll just have a word with the driver. It'll be a quick trip." Li Xia gave a polite smile and said, "ED, 8837. "Thanks, but, Lu D, 8837. Chen Mo and I still have things to do." Lu GB, 837. "Let's catch up another day." Lu Jun said with a hint of disappointment in his voice. "You're leaving already? Come join us and have some fun for a bit. It's rare for us to get out and get together like this." Lu Rian secretly pinched Lu Jun. And then she said to him, "Oh, forget it. Don't force them. This is peak time for late-night snack orders. They could probably squeeze in a few more deliveries tonight. Let's not waste their time." I said to Lu Jun, "Maybe next time. We're all in Kunming anyway. Let's stay in touch and hang out whenever. We'll head back first." "Well, all right then." Lu Jun bid us farewell with a look of reluctance. "Let me at least hail a cab for you. Get home safe. No need for a taxi. I haven't had anything to drink." As she spoke, Li Xia pressed her remote key. The headlights of a white Range Rover parked right next to us flashed twice. Then, she gave a friendly wave to Lu Jun and said, "Goodbye." Lu Jun and Lu Rian's expressions instantly stiffened. Li Xia and I walked side by side toward the Range Rover. Just as I was opening the car door, I heard Lu Rian behind me, speaking in a tone dripping with pure jealousy and spite. "That childhood friend of yours. He sure is something. I bet he just borrowed that car to save face." I didn't hear what came after that, because I was already sitting inside Li Xia's car. I leaned back against the seat and closed my eyes, unable to see a future for myself. But I could feel the tears streaming down my cheeks. When the crushing weight of life, when the pressure gets so heavy that I can't breathe, I can only lick my wounds in the darkness. I didn't want Li Xia to see my tears, so I rolled down the window and let the wind dry them. They evaporated into the air as the car stopped outside the Paris Spring residential complex. I got out of the car to say goodbye to Li Xia. Just as I was about to leave, Li Xia called out to me and asked, "Chen Mo, do I still owe you anything?" I stopped in my tracks and turned around to look at her. I shook my head and said, "No, you don't." "That's good then." A faint, relieved smile touched the corners of Li Xia's mouth. She calmly said goodbye. I ended up sleeping until the sun was high in the sky the next day. I was eventually woken up by the phone ringing. I didn't even check to see who was calling. Out of professional habit, I answered the call and first said, "Hello?" Li Xia's voice came from the other end of the line. She asked, "Are you still sleeping? Do you have to be this lazy?" Dazed and groggy, I asked her, "Does my being lazy have anything to do with you? Can you do me a favor?" "What is it?" "Come to my company to find me. I'll tell you when we meet face to face. If you want to refuse, I won't force you." I hesitated for a few seconds before saying to her, "Just wait, I'll be there in 30 minutes. Keep a leash on your guard dogs. Don't let them bite me." Li Xia laughed and said, "You sound like you've actually been bitten before." Inside Li Xia's office, she was sitting behind her desk. She was busy handling documents on her computer. I walked up to her desk. Leaning my hands on the table, I looked at her and asked, "What's so important that you need me to come out of retirement to solve it?" Li Xia put down her mouse, leaned back in her chair, and crossed her arms over her chest. She looked at me and said, "The HR department has a few interviews today. I want to ask for your help. Today, you'll be our HR manager. See if these people are worth hiring." I looked at Li Xia and asked, "Are you kidding me? You want me to be an interviewer for you?" "Yes," Li Xia said with incredible calmness. "I'm not joking. The candidates have already arrived. If you're willing to help, you can go and start the interviews right now. My assistant, Xiao Ru, will support you through the whole process. Actually, being an interviewer isn't that hard. You just need to look at the people who come in. If you have a good feeling about them, they can stay for a probationary period. If you have a bad feeling, you can just turn them away. It's all based on your gut feeling." I looked at Li Xia, completely baffled. I really couldn't figure it out. "Why are you asking me to do your interviews? Do you have some kind of hidden motive?" An enigmatic smile played on Li Xia's lips as she stood up and said, "Go on, I'll have Xiao Ru take you to the HR office. You'll understand why I asked you once you're there." Feeling curious, I followed Xiao Ru to the interview room. There were 4 sets of files lying on the desk. Xiao Ru introduced them, saying, "Only these 4 people have passed the initial screening. But in the end, our company can only keep 2. Please take a look at their files first. I'll go out and make the arrangements, then notify the 4 of them to come in one by one. You decide which 2 to keep in the end. This is President Li's wish." I opened the first resume. 26 years old, with 2 years of hotel management experience. A graduate from the Southwest University of Political Science and Law. The second resume belongs to a girl. She's from the School of Business Administration. To be honest, her academic background isn't anything special, but her personal statement is written with such humility. She seems like a very low-profile girl. When I flipped to the third resume, I was absolutely stunned. It was actually Lu Jun. I suddenly realized what was going on. I quickly opened the 4th set of files, and sure enough, Lu Rian's photo was printed right there. Last night at the dinner table, they were bragging so excitedly about getting an interview invite from a hotel. They were over the moon. It turns out the place they were talking about was the Katy International Hotel. And now, Li Xia wants me to conduct the interview. What is she trying to pull? I focused my thoughts for a moment and finally understood Li Xia's good intentions. A moment later, my assistant, Xiao Ru, returned to the office. She said to me, "Everything is ready. Should I bring them in now?" I nodded and told her, "Bring all 4 of them in at once." At the same time, Xiao Ru looked startled, a flash of doubt crossing her eyes. She seemed to be questioning me, wondering if I even knew how to run an interview. I stood my ground and said, "Yes. Bring all 4 of them in together." Since I was firm about it, Xiao Ru didn't ask any more questions. She pushed the door open and walked out. When she returned, all 4 candidates were led into the room. Right in front of them, she announced, "This is Director Chen from our HR department. Which 2 of you get to stay today? Will be entirely up to Director Chen." After the introduction, she sat to my left. She started typing on her laptop to record the session. "Chen Fan?" Lu Jun couldn't help but blurt out my name, asking in total shock, "Am I seeing things right?" I smiled and gave a slight nod. My eyes scanned the group, and I noticed the look on Lu Rian's face. She had this uncontrollable excitement, looking like she already felt she had it in the bag. I put on a professional act and said, "Everyone, please take a seat. I've reviewed your resumes. To make it through the company's many rounds of interviews to get here shows that you're the best of the best, even if you don't end up being the right fit for this position. It's proof of how excellent you are. Right now, the company only has 2 openings." Lu Rian said proudly, "Well, it's obviously going to be Lu Jun and me then." That comment earned her an annoyed look from the other man in the room. Lu Jun quickly tugged on Lu Rian's sleeve and whispered, "Don't talk like that." Then he apologized to the man, but the other girl didn't react at all. It was like she hadn't even heard a word Lu Rian said. I picked up the water cup in front of me, took a sip, and continued. "The final interview question is very simple. Suppose your monthly salary is 5,000, and you have 3 housing options in front of you. The first is a single room in an urban village for 500 a month. The second is a shared apartment in a residential complex for 1,000 a month. The third is your own private apartment in a complex for 2,500 a month. How would you choose?" Lu Rian was the first to speak up. "I'd take the 2,500 apartment. I need a good environment and my own private space." "Lu Jun, how about you?" Lu Jun scratched his head and said, I live in a shared apartment in a residential complex. My gaze fell upon the third girl. Her name was easy to remember, Bai Pepe. This was the first time I'd heard her voice. It was so delicate and gentle. She said cautiously, I would choose to share an apartment in a residential complex. After all, the living environment is very important. The people you share an apartment with should be friends with similar income levels and values. You'd have a lot to talk about. You can also expand your social circle. Sharing an apartment with others is a good thing. Finally, the man said firmly, I would choose to live in an urban village. After all, a monthly salary of 5,000 isn't much. To spend that money on accommodation is better spent on socializing with others. The four of them had all finished sharing their thoughts. I said to Xiao Ru beside me, let's end today's interviews here. Xiao Ru looked at me and asked, so, which two are we keeping? We'll announce it tomorrow morning. Everyone can just go home and wait for a call. Xiao Ru stood up and said, thank you very much, all four of you. What Director Chen means is that the interviews are over for today. You will be notified by phone tomorrow morning about our decision. Final choice will be made by Director Chen. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you out. Please follow me. After speaking, Xiao Ru led the way out, followed closely by the man. Then came Bai Pepe. When Lu Rian saw the first two people had left, she suddenly rushed to my desk and said excitedly, Chen Fan, aren't you a delivery guy? What are you doing here? You were amazing in the interview. Does that mean Lu Jun and I can get ready to start work next week? The corners of my mouth lifted in a slight smile. I didn't know what to say. Lu Jun pulled Lu Rian and said, Rian, let's go. Chen Fan, are you free tonight? You left so early yesterday, we didn't get a proper chance to catch up. What time do you get off work? I'll come find you. We can go for more drinks tonight, I said to Lu Jun. I'll contact you after I get off work. Just as they were leaving, Lu Rian clung to Lu Jun's arm and said with utmost confidence, I can't believe your friend is the director of HR at the Katy Hotel. Chen Fan is really something else. We need to stay in close contact with him from now on, you hear? All four of them left the interview room. I sat in my chair, lost in thought for a moment. I got up and headed to Li Xia's office. As I walked in, Li Xia was staring at her computer, and I could even hear my own voice. Seeing me enter, Li Xia smiled and said, that final question was very unique. You can learn a lot from someone's simple views on housing. I frowned and asked, you saw all of that? Li Xia turned her computer screen towards me and said, I'm on my second watch through. Turns out, there's a camera in that office. I was a little speechless. Was this because she didn't trust me? Just as I was about to say something, Li Xia quickly explained. Don't get the wrong idea. Our interview rooms have always been equipped with cameras. Sometimes, we have a lot of candidates for the first and second interviews, so it's impossible to make a decision right away. The HR department has to review the interview tapes a few more times before they can make a final decision. I gave a quick grunt of acknowledgement, and Li Xia asked with a soft smile. So, who do you think we should keep in the end? Bai Pepe and Lu Jun? Li Xia pressed further, what's the reason? You're not going to keep Lu Rian? Aren't you afraid your childhood best friend, Lu Jun, will have a falling out with you? I habitually pulled out a cigarette and put it in my mouth. Just as I was about to light it, I realized this probably wasn't the right thing to do. After all, I was in someone else's office, so I tucked the lighter back away. Li Xia spoke up and said, it's alright. I don't mind people smoking around me. Thanks. I lit the cigarette and said to Li Xia, I understand why you wanted me here today. Thank you for all the effort you put into this. You've been so good to me, and there's no way I'd be irresponsible toward you. This Lu Rian, she's way too full of herself. Plus, she has no manners whatsoever. She's not the type worth training. Bai Pepe is a solid choice, both in terms of her resume and how she carries herself. She acted very humble, and she has a great professional image. She's very approachable. As for Lu Jun, even though he doesn't have much work experience, his outlook on life and his values are very upright. Setting aside our personal relationship, I'd still suggest you keep him. As for what you asked about not keeping Lu Rian, and whether that would make Lu Jun upset, all I can say is, I won't take your kindness for granted and do anything that hurts your company's growth. That's why I didn't announce the results just now. As for who to actually hire, that's still your call to make. Li Xia leaned back in her chair and stared at me. I was a bit shocked when I saw the resumes this morning. I couldn't believe such a coincidence existed, so I called you to come over. You saw it for yourself during the interview. Going from a food delivery guy yesterday to the HR director today, with just a simple change of status. The way some people treat you changes completely. This society is cold and calculating, and the people living in it are so hypocritical. I get what you were trying to do, giving me a chance to get some of my pride and confidence back in front of my friends. But you've also put me in a real bind. Both Lu Jun and Lu Rian think That I'm the one who decides their fate now. It's incredibly awkward. Li Xia acted like she didn't have a care in the world and said, if you find it that difficult, then just keep both Lu Jun and Lu Rian. It makes no difference to me. I have over 100 people on my payroll at the Katy Hotel. I don't care about adding one more Lu Rian. It just depends on what you want to do. I shot Li Xia a look. I really didn't know what to say to her anymore. I turned and headed for the door. With my back to her, I said, go play by yourself. I'm leaving. Stop messing with me. I'm not playing your games anymore. Wait, Li Xia called out to me from behind. If you think that as your best childhood friend, Lu Jun can't understand why you didn't hire Lu Rian and starts a fight with you over it, then I don't think that friend of yours is even worth keeping around. He knows exactly what kind of person Lu Rian is. Besides, do you really think that Lu Jun will ever be happy if he stays with a hypocritical girl like her? Of course, as outsiders, we don't really have the right to judge their relationship. But when it's something so obvious about his character, shouldn't you say a thing or two for your childhood friend? I just stood there after hearing what Li Xia said, not wanting to say anything more. As I pulled open the office door to leave, I heard Li Xia's voice from behind me. Since you've started this, see it through to the end. I don't want you to give up halfway on something you promised to help me with, just like that dinner yesterday that I disliked so much. I still stayed with you until the very end. Tomorrow, you will be the one to announce the interview results. If you don't show up, I'll just hire Lu Jun and Lu Rian. Letting you save face in front of your friends. Li Xia's good intentions. She'd handed me a hot potato, and I had no idea how to face Lu Jun and Lu Rian. I could ignore Lu Rian's feelings, but I didn't want to make things difficult for Lu Jun. Dinner tonight was probably going to be awkward, and even knowing it would be awkward, I couldn't run away from it. At 4:30 in the afternoon, Lu Jun called me and asked what time I got off work. I told Lu Jun I was already free for the day. He was really happy to hear that. He asked where we should meet and said we should have a good drink tonight. I told Lu Jun to come to Paris Spring, to a very ordinary little restaurant outside the residential complex. I said tonight was my treat. Lu Jun said he'd be right over. See you in a bit. And with that, he hung up the phone. I didn't know what would happen tonight. Would our friendship of over 10 years fall apart because of this? Or would it become even stronger? I had no way of knowing. After all, we've both changed over the years, and our social circles have gradually drifted further and further apart. There were some things I just didn't know how to bring up. All I could do was pray. At 5:30, Lu Jun and Lu Rian showed up at the restaurant. I suddenly felt very nervous. I wanted to preserve this friendship, but I also didn't want to betray Li Xia's kindness to me. I was stuck in a dilemma. After a few dishes were served, the topic they both talked to me about never strayed from the Katy International Hotel. They asked me what the environment inside was like, what the salary was like, and what the company's overall structure was. There were many questions I didn't know the answers to and couldn't respond to. I could only smile awkwardly and try to change the subject. Lu Jun and Lu Rian both noticed I was avoiding it. The atmosphere during the meal remained in a state of semi-awkwardness. Everyone felt repressed. The first one to crack was Lu Rian. Holding her chopsticks, she said in a strange tone of voice, "Oh, Lu Jun. It seems Chen Fan is a little too eager for you to work at Katy. Don't get the wrong idea." I spoke up, "Whether or not you two can come work at Katy is fundamentally not my decision." Lu Rian then emphasized, "You were the one who interviewed us today. And I heard that Xiao Ru is the assistant to Katy's general manager. She even said you could decide whether we get hired or not. How is it not your decision?" I felt like I couldn't clear my name even if I jumped into the Yellow River. Lu Jun looked at me and said very sincerely, "Chen Fan, this job is really important to me and Rian. Although there are several 5-star hotels in Kunming, after comparing them, we found that Katy is the most suitable place for our careers to grow." "Why is that?" I looked at Lu Jun, not understanding at all. "You said it yourself, there are so many 5-star hotels in Kunming. Why do you have to come to Katy?" Lu Jun said, acting all mysterious. "Since you're working at Katy, you must have heard the news by now. Li Dezong, the head of the Katy group, died in a plane crash over Hawaii. He passed away after they failed to save him. They say Kaidi's being run now by Li Dezong's illegitimate daughter. She's making massive cuts and changes to the staff. She wants to build her own team and establish her own authority. In a time like this, she's going to need a lot of fresh blood in the company. That's exactly why we set our sights on Kaidi. Opportunities come from chaos. I want to take a shot at it with Ru Yan. Instead of working at some boring, stable company, I'd rather be in the middle of a power struggle, where I can prove my worth." I could see where Lu Jun was coming from. It really is a chance to show what you're made of, but I really didn't want to ignore my conscience and hire Lu Ruyan. I tried to talk him out of it gently. "Actually, a quiet work environment is pretty nice too. You don't have to deal with all that backstabbing. Chen Fan, Lu Jun said, looking at me with dead seriousness. If you can, please, you have to keep me and Ru Yan there. I'm begging you. During the meal, I didn't give him a straight answer. I just told him and Ru Yan to go home and wait for my call. I started thinking back to that scene at the abandoned warehouse on the edge of town. Li Xia had told Li Jiahao, I promised I'd take good care of you. If I'm right, that illegitimate daughter Lu Jun mentioned is probably Li Xia. Once I got home, I went out to the balcony and called her. Li Xia answered and asked, "It's so late, what is it? Is this about the hiring?" Lu Jun and Lu Ru Yan treated me to dinner tonight. You can probably guess what was said. I think we should end this joke right here. If we keep going, it's going to get out of hand. I showed you the interview tapes. I'm sure you know better than anyone who we should actually hire. Lu Jun and Bai Peipei are the best fit. At least, that's what I think. I need you to clear up this misunderstanding. Li Xia snapped back, sounding very annoyed. Chen Mo, let me ask you something. Did I not keep my word to you? You asked me to have dinner, and I dropped a major meeting just to go. You know how much I hate those formal dinners. I even put up with being looked down on like some delivery person. I endured it all, because if I promise you something, I make sure it gets done. Now, you promised to help me with one thing, and you're already planning to quit halfway? Please, just stop, I pleaded with her. I know you were just trying to help me vent, and I really appreciate the gesture. But things have changed now. This is starting to hurt my real-life friendships. Li Xia said firmly, well, you can choose not to hurt them. Just hire Lu Jun and Lu Ru Yan at the same time. I've given you the authority to do it. Can you stop being so stubborn? This is your company we're talking about. Are you playing some kind of joke on yourself? No, I'm not. I couldn't tell if she was actually angry or just trying to get under my skin. Then she said, this is revenge. Revenge for that disgusting thing you did to my food. Come to my office tomorrow morning. You're going to make those hiring calls yourself. Notify 2 of them. Come register for work at the company's HR department. Once you do that, you'll have kept your promise to me. If you're going to call yourself a man, don't quit halfway. With that, Li Xia hung up. I suddenly had the feeling that I was in over my head. And there was no way off. I lay on my bed, wondering what I should do. I was faced with a dilemma. Whatever I did would be wrong. The next day, in Li Xia's office, I really didn't like the look in her eyes. It was a mocking look. On the table sat a landline phone. Li Xia sat across the coffee table from me, holding a cup of coffee. She looked like she was really enjoying herself, while I stared at the phone, feeling conflicted. Make the call, Li Xia said, seemingly calm. Think about it, even if you tell Lu Jun and Lu Rian right now that you're not the company's HR director, they won't believe you. Isn't it? I asked, looking at Li Xia furiously. From the very beginning, you never intended to help me regain my confidence. You just wanted to back me into a corner, didn't you? Li Xia's mouth opened and closed, a flicker of disappointment in her eyes. She said disdainfully, think whatever you like. After saying that, she got up from the reception sofa and went back to her desk. She was right. Even if I told Lu Jun and Lu Rian now that I'm not the HR director, they wouldn't believe me. Since that was the case, why hesitate? I picked up the landline and dialed the internal number. I was calling Xiao Ru directly. I held the phone and said to her, notify Lu Jun that he's been hired. He's to report to the company on Monday. Okay, Xiao Ru asked over the phone. So who is the second person? I could feel the hand holding the phone start to shake. Meanwhile, Li Xia's gaze never left me. Hello? Xiao Ru asked over the phone, Director Chen, who is the other person we're hiring? The second person to hire is. Lu Rian's name was on the tip of my tongue several times. But I couldn't bring myself to say it. Xiao Ru's voice came over the phone again, reminding me, Director Chen, you can speak. I'm listening. Bai Peipei. When I said her name, I felt a sense of relief, as if a heavy burden had been lifted. I realized my entire back was covered in sweat. Got it. I'll call and notify Lu Jun and Bai Peipei to report to the HR department on Monday. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. I was the one to hang up first. I leaned back on the sofa, looking up at the ceiling, and heard Li Xia's footsteps approaching. She sat down on the sofa in front of me again and said to me, Chen Fan, thank you. This was actually a test for you. Ha, I let out a couple of dry laughs. Test me on what? Don't make up some ridiculous reason to console me. I'm not a 3-year-old. You did all this just to get revenge on me for flirting with you. If I could, I really wish I could go back to a few days ago, that I hadn't lied and said that I ate your meal. In fact, I didn't do it. That's not important, Li Xia said nonchalantly. There aren't that many what-ifs in this world. Honestly, I'm actually glad you told that lie. It gave us more chances to spend time together. Whatever the case, I want to apologize first. I shouldn't have put you through such a difficult test. Before Xia could finish, my phone started ringing. Just as I thought, the call was from Lu Jun. I picked up, and I could hear Lu Jun asking on the other end. Chen Fan, can you tell me why? Why did you do this? With Xia sitting right across from me, I couldn't really explain much. I could only say to Lu Jun, I'll call you back later. Fine, I'll be waiting. After I hung up the phone, my heart felt even heavier. Then, Xia said to me, let me apologize first, and then I'll explain why I did what I did. Whether you're willing to forgive me or not, I'll always be grateful for everything you did for me today. I just looked at Xia. Her face showed a hint of guilt, and a bit of helplessness as she spoke softly. Even though I put you in such a tough spot, you still looked out for me when it mattered most. The company has been having some issues lately, so we're restructuring every department. I really need people around me, friends who actually have my back. I'm building my own team. To be honest, when I asked you to help with the interviews yesterday, I just wanted to help you save some face in front of your friends. Even if you had hired Lu Jun and Lu Rian, it wouldn't have been a big deal. For the company, it would have just been adding one more intern. At worst, I could have just let them go after a month. At that point, Xia paused for a moment. She carefully watched my expression before continuing. I was actually watching the entire interview process yesterday. I was surprised you didn't hire Rian on the spot. Then, back in my office, you told me she wasn't a good fit. Honestly, I felt the same way. She doesn't belong in my company, for reasons we don't need to get into. When I heard you say that, a thought suddenly crossed my mind. I decided I had to let you handle the hiring, to see what your final choice would be. In the end, you didn't let me down. You stuck to the right decision. I know that was a hard choice for you. It might even cost you your friendship with your childhood buddy. I want to know, why did you stick to your guns? Was it for me? Dismissive smirk tugged at the corner of my mouth. Don't flatter yourself. I have my own principles. I just didn't want to go against my conscience, that's all. Excellent, Xia said happily. That's exactly the kind of person I need. Let's have a real talk. Talk about what? I put a cigarette in my mouth, and Xia couldn't help but frown. I said loudly, hey, don't give me that look. I'm not your employee right now. I'll smoke if I want to. You can't tell me what to do. And even if I were working for you, you shouldn't limit my freedom to smoke. It's fine, Xia said calmly. You smoked in my office yesterday, too. It seems smoking helps you think more clearly. Right now, the company is completely overhauling every single position. Which department do you want to join? What are you interested in? What kind of work have you done before? What's your experience? The kind that would sneak bites from the food deliveries. Li Xia shot me a fierce glare. She said to me, I'm being serious. Can you stop kidding around? I've delivered food, been a waiter at a KTV, and carried bricks on a construction site. The more I spoke, the less confident I sounded. Anyway, I've done all sorts of low-level jobs. If you really want to offer me a job opportunity, go on, Li Xia encouraged me. Just tell me what you want to do. I'll definitely give you a salary you're happy with. It won't be any less than what you make delivering food. Don't underestimate me. I can make 6,000 or 7,000 a month delivering food, you know. I'll give you 8,000. In that case, I'll be a security guard. The look on Li Xia's face at that moment was indescribable. She stared at me for a long time and asked, are you serious? Of course, I pressed. As a security guard, do I get free room and board? Is there a perfect attendance bonus or anything? How are the shifts scheduled? How many hours of work and how many hours of rest? When I have time off, I can do some reading. Being a security guard sounds pretty good. Come to work on Monday. I'll have Xiao Ru personally arrange your security job. The company provides room and board, but you'll be in a group dormitory. It's just a bunk, that's all. It's fine for resting during your downtime. As for how the security department schedules shifts, I'm not very clear on that. The people below me are in charge of all that. At this point, Li Xia raised her wrist and looked at the time. She said to me, let's have lunch together. Let me ask first, am I treating you or are you treating me? That question earned me a huge eye roll from Li Xia. We had lunch at the hotel. Before I left, Li Xia had Xiao Ru bring me a security guard uniform. She told me to wear this uniform and find Xiao Ru on Monday, and she would arrange my duties. I even asked Li Xia if the salary for a security guard was really 8,000. Li Xia calmly said it was. When I got home, I put on the security uniform in my bedroom. Looking in the mirror, I felt exceptionally sharp. Just as I was admiring myself, Lu Jun called again. After I explained Li Xia's background to him, he understood everything. At 8 a.m. on Monday, I went to find Xiao Ru, wearing my security uniform. She looked me over and even complimented me on how handsome I looked, but I thought it was so lame. Security. If I were in charge of the uniforms, I'd definitely have all the guards on duty wear military combat uniforms. Now that would be cool. Unexpectedly, she just smiled and told me I could change the security department's uniforms after I took up my post. Then, she took me to the security department on the second floor. She knocked directly on the door of the deputy director's office. The person inside didn't even look up and just yelled, "Get out, knock, and come back in." Xiao Ru said faintly, "Director Cao, I'm not interrupting your game, am I?" He instantly panicked, put away his phone, and stood up. Xiao Ru introduced me to Director Cao, telling him he must cooperate with me, the new director. After the introductions, Xiao Ru took me to another office. This office is so spacious and tidy. I never dreamed I'd have a place like this. Just a few days ago, I was just a delivery guy. Today, I have my very own private office. Xiao Ru handed me the keys and said, "The security department is all yours now. If you run into any trouble, just contact me directly. I'll have Manager Cao bring some documents over in a bit. There's a lot to handle in this role, so you'll need to work hard. I won't let you or Li Xia down. I'll do my best. Have a great day at work." But before I could even settle into my seat, there was a knock at the door. The security guard at the door spoke with an arrogant tone. "Manager, security, there are guests causing trouble outside. You need to come and deal with this right now. Shouldn't the lobby manager handle guests making trouble? Why is the security department being held responsible for guests at the Decai International Hotel?" The guard puffed his cigarette impatiently. "They've blocked the parking lot entrance with their cars. Manager Cao is already down there waiting for you. He sent me to get a solution from you." It wasn't until I rushed over that I realized what was happening. A BMW was parked sideways, completely blocking the exit. The owner was shouting and cursing, claiming his car had been scratched. The worst part was that there was no surveillance footage. Coincidentally, the camera covering his specific spot was broken. Manager Cao pointed right at me. "This is our newly appointed chief of security. Don't worry, I'm sure he'll give you a reasonable explanation." The car owner was fuming. "Oh, so you're the one in charge, huh? Give me an answer. How exactly are you going to compensate me for this? Good grief, I haven't even been on the job for 1 hour. And they're already trying to intimidate me." Just as I was panicking and didn't know what to do, a beautiful woman appeared and admitted that she was the one who scratched the car. She had mistaken the BMW for her ex-husband's car. Just like that, my first big crisis on the job was resolved. Manager Cao could only stand there and glare in frustration. But not long after I got back to my office, the company's big boss, Mr. Li Mingchen, walked in with Manager Cao and the director. Li Mingchen glanced at me and said coldly, "You're fired. I'm appointing Cao Yuwei as the new chief of security." I was completely stunned. I just got this job. Thankfully, at that exact moment, Xiao Ru and Li Xia walked through the door. Xiao Ru gave a small smile and said, "The general manager personally appointed this man. Is it really appropriate to just fire him on a whim like that?" The man in the suit looked surprised. "Xia, was this your doing?" Li Xia replied calmly, "We've had too many complaints about hotel security lately. Firing the previous manager didn't fix anything. That's why I personally chose someone to take charge." "Brother, is there a problem?" Li Mingchen immediately forced an awkward laugh. "Of course not, but replacing a department head really should be decided by the board of directors, shouldn't it?" Li Xia remained firm and composed. "Does an internship placement really need board approval? There's no need to make it so complicated. We can hold a meeting when it's time for a formal appointment. Besides, I think a disobedient deputy manager is completely replaceable. Should we just fire him too, brother? What do you think?" Cao Yuwei was instantly terrified. He looked pleadingly at Li Mingchen. Xiao Ru caught my eye, signaling me to stay quiet. The man quickly chimed in, "Wait, let's not fire anyone for now. The new manager isn't familiar with the operations yet. He'll need old Cao to show him the ropes. Let's just have old Cao support him for a while," Li Xia said to him. "Fine, I'll do as you say. Let's give Cao Yuwei one more chance." With that, Li Xia left with Xiaoru. As Li Mingchen was heading out, he gave me a cold, piercing glare. It was only later that I found out. He's Li Xia's half-brother. After Li Dezong passed away, he left the company to his illegitimate daughter, Li Xia. Li Mingchen acted like he was supporting her on the surface, but he was actually using her leadership changes to stir up trouble with the shareholders. As his own popularity grew, Li Xia's position became more and more precarious. When I got home that night, a wave of exhaustion washed over me. I crashed right on the sofa and fell asleep. Lin Yifei was the one who eventually woke me up. I even managed to score a free meal from her. Ever since we cleared up that misunderstanding about the stray dog, we've been getting a lot closer. After dinner, a sudden call from my second uncle jolted me awake. He invited me to a bar for a drink. It was perfect, since I really felt like unwinding. I casually invited Lin Yifei to come along, and to my surprise, she actually agreed. Second uncle led me to a booth in the bar where 3 men and a woman were sitting. They were all in their 30s, and the woman had a really striking figure. Chen Xiaoji introduced them, saying, "You can call these guys Big Brother. And this is Sister Hua." I raised my glass to them. A toast to the 3 of you, and to Sister Hua. And to my second uncle. Your second uncle? Yin Yiwa asked, looking confused. Wait, who's your second uncle? Chen Xiaoji. He told me to call you guys big brother. So I can't let you guys take advantage of me for free. I guess I'll have to drink a few extra rounds with you then. Everyone burst into laughter. Yin Yiwa turned to Chen Xiaoji and said, You're so wicked. This nephew of yours is way more fun than you are. Little brother, let me have a drink with you. During the conversation, I found out they were all coaches at a fitness club. Chen Xiaoji teaches Sanda there. Everyone was drinking casually, without any pressure to overdo it. I really liked the vibe. Just as we were having a great time, Li Jiahao suddenly appeared. He grabbed a bottle of beer from the table, chugged it in one go, and panted to Chen Xiaoji. Brother Jia, I finished the 300 push-ups. I was stunned. Li Jiahao grabbed another bottle and turned to me. Buddy, I'm here to apologize to you. No hard feelings, right? I'm chugging this bottle as a peace offering. Don't feel like you have to keep up. With that, he downed the whole thing. I looked at my second uncle, and he just gave a faint smile. He's one of my gym members learning Sanda. Isn't that right? Li Jiahao finished another bottle. I've never really looked up to anyone, but I truly respect Brother Jia. Everything before was just a misunderstanding. Please don't hold it against me. Let's just let the past be the past. We're all men here. I scooted a bit closer to Lin Yifei and raised my glass. Then I'll drink to that. Li Jiahao boldly finished his third bottle. While we were chatting, I asked him which department he worked in at Dikai. He just shook his head. I don't like being at Dikai. Besides, my sister won't let me work there anyway. Why not? Isn't Dikai your family's business? And your sister is the chairman and general manager, right? Li Jiahao let out a soft sigh. I don't care if you look down on me. I didn't even graduate high school, just started messing around on the streets and even cussed out my own mom. It was only after my mom died that my sister and I were told our father was Li Dezong. He treated us pretty well, gave us a lot of money. He died in an accident early this year and split the Dikai shares into 3 parts. One for my sister, one for me, and one for my half-brother, Li Mingchen. But he made my sister the chairwoman. She asked me to come and help out. But after working for just 1 week, I found out that the people at the company weren't friendly. I'm used to being a slacker, and that just gave people a reason to attack my sister. So I just quit. He became more agitated as he spoke. He picked up his beer bottle. You think I'm a complete loser, don't you? I clinked glasses with him. Don't think that way. The fact that you can't stand all the scheming and backstabbing means you're a straightforward guy. When it comes to making friends, I'd much rather be friends with someone like you. I may not have many good qualities, but I'm loyal, Li Jiahao said, thumping his chest. We may have gotten off on the wrong foot, but from now on, if you need anything, just say the word. If I ever hesitate, I'm a son of a bitch. Cheers. After we finished our drinks, I told him, your sister got me a job in the Dikai security department. The security department? As a guard? My sister really isn't looking out for you. I'm going to talk to her tonight. I'll get you transferred to another department. I chose it myself. Of all the departments in the company, why did you pick security? I said with a resigned sigh, lighting a cigarette. I can't do anything else. I have to start from the bottom. Your sister's been more than good to me. She made me head of the security department right off the bat. I'm already more than satisfied. Li Jiahao let out a dry laugh. Be honest, did someone give you a hard time on your first day? If the answer's no, I'll chug 3 more of these. All eyes in the room turned to me. I said with a wry smile. The deputy head set a trap for me. What happened? I recounted the day's events as he turned to ask the quiet Chen Xiaoji. Finally, I added, and don't you go resorting to violence. This problem can't be solved with fists. I want to do my job right and take this on as a challenge. If I can't even handle something like this, I'll end up looking down on myself. Yin Yiwa nodded. Chen Fan, I'm on your side. To survive in an environment like that, you have to adapt to the unwritten rules. Violence isn't the answer. Chen Xiaoji, who had been silent the whole time, suddenly spoke up. Undermine his authority. Break up his team. That's how you solve the problem at its root. I repeated his words, my mind racing to figure out a concrete plan. That's easier said than done. Yu Zhuang, who was sitting to Chen Xiaoji's right, chuckled. The security department has dozens of people. There's no way they're all on his side. Some are just following him because of his position. If you show some strength and resolve, you'll naturally have people defecting to your side. As a leader, personal charisma is more important than ruling through power. Why not give them an opportunity to erupt? The more I thought about it, the more sense it made. Those drinks weren't for nothing. I couldn't sleep at all that night. I kept mulling over my plan for what to do next, and didn't fall asleep until 2 in the morning. First thing in the morning, I sent a message to Li Xia. I want to do a good job leading the Dikai security department. As for what I'm about to do, I hope you will support me. The message was sent, but I hadn't received a response by the time I got to the company. I couldn't help but feel a little nervous, but what's done is done. After a short meeting, things went just as I had expected. Not everyone was on the same page as Director Sao. That young man who was on duty when the surveillance malfunctioned was fired by me on the spot. Because of this, Sao Yue and I got into a huge argument. Before long, someone from HR came to find me. Li Mingchen did not approve of firing that security guard. Fortunately, Lu Xiaoru appeared just in time and said to the person from HR, "President Li asked me to tell you that this matter will be handled by the head of the security department." The person from HR looked troubled. "I'll go back and report this to my director." After she left, Lu Xiaoru said with a smile, "You've figured it out, haven't you? This isn't just about firing a security guard. It's a power struggle behind the scenes." I took a deep breath. I get it, getting rid of dissenters and building your own team right after taking office. Moving this fast can easily stir up resentment, but I support you. Lu Xiaoru's phone suddenly rang. She answered, said just a few words, and then hung up. This has blown up. The board is going to use this as an excuse to make things difficult for Xia. She wants you to be ready. She needs you. What's going on? I asked Lu Xiaoru. Did I cause trouble for Xia? What does she need me to do? Lu Xiaoru explained. Li Mingchen is upset that you fired a longtime employee as soon as you started. He's taking this opportunity to call a board meeting to try and oust Xia. The meeting is at 2 p.m. This whole thing started because of you. You have to be there. Whether or not you can turn the tide is all up to you. I was a bit nervous. The shareholders only care about the company's profits. As long as you can persuade the majority to support you, Xia will be fine. Lu Xiaoru said, if you fail, Li Mingchen will seize the opportunity to propose a new general manager, or even a new chairman. Xia can't lose control of Dekai. I understand. I took a deep breath. I'll get ready now. I'll be waiting for the call. After Lu Xiaoru left, I went to Guofeng Road to buy a tactical uniform. It cost 2,280 yuan. I chose a lightweight, breathable model for over 1,000 yuan. Wearing it, I looked like a special forces soldier. The 29th floor conference room. As soon as I walked in, a shareholder asked Li Xia with displeasure, he's so young. Is he reliable? An older shareholder spoke up, there must be a good reason for being late. Since this meeting is about him, we might as well hear him out. What in the world did you do? Li Mingchen said with a sigh. Nothing much, just fired a veteran employee on my second day on the job. Xia's judgment in people is lacking, and now she's even pushing for major layoffs. I'm worried about the future of Dekai, so I want to discuss the company's development and re-elect the general manager. His intention couldn't have been more obvious. He just wants to oust Li Xia. As soon as Li Mingchen finished speaking, a shareholder spoke up, I invested to make money. I'll back whoever is capable. Well said. Another shareholder chimed in, Dekai doesn't belong exclusively to the Li family. We will honor the old chairman's last wishes, but we support the more capable person. Regardless of whether it's Li Xia, Li Mingchen, or someone else. Whoever can genuinely win everyone over will have my support. Thank you, everyone, Li Xia said. I replaced the head of the security department because there have been too many complaints recently. Director Chen, please tell everyone your thoughts. I walked to the empty seat beside Li Xia and looked around at everyone. This afternoon, I went to Guofeng Road and bought this uniform with my own money. I believe the security guard's image represents the hotel's image. Right now, the guards wear shirts and trousers, and their lazy demeanor is not worthy of Dekai. I plan to have all the security guards change into combat uniforms.